I've talked about property rights a lot, and property rights are very important to all of us. In fact, our ability to live in a free society depends on property rights. But what happens when your property rights are denied, your dreams are destroyed, and bureaucracy has really no good excuse as to why they're doing that to you? Well, this is a story that really starts in where I live in Thurston County in Washington State. And in Thurston County, we basically have I've done a lot of stories here in the past, and it's the home of the state capitol in Olympia. And it turns out that Thurston County, the planning department here, has basically moved into a new fancy Taj Mahal building called the Atrium Building. And one of the consistent patterns of behavior that we've actually seen from this planning department is this unwillingness to actually follow through and give people their building permits. In fact, at this point in time, there are a massive number of building permits that people have asked for, the ability to build a porch on their house, or put a barn on their property, or just to build a home. And in this era, in which theoretically they being those in government, claim to care about homelessness, why is it that they deny so many people the ability to actually build a home? And these aren't people asking for government handouts. They're people who actually want to buy and basically build their own home. And yet, Thurston County refuses to give them that opportunity. Well, we've been critical about this in the past for several different county managers. And in fact, the current county manager here, basically Ramiro Chavez, he's bailing out on Thurston County. It's the third one that I've actually had to deal with here over the years. He's leaving conveniently just in time for a state audit that's coming in to look at a bunch of financial mistakes and improprieties that I believe that he's directly been involved in. But meanwhile, at the exact same time, the county's supposed to be working for the people who basically pay their bills. Thurston County has basically destroyed the ability of 4,500, at least, different homeowners and permits to be issued over the last, many times for years. People have been trying to build a home for many years. At the exact same time, they're encouraging more drug addicts and homeless people to be living in camps and to living out of RVs, living out of homes, and they're spending millions and millions of dollars dealing with that issue. But meanwhile, despite the fact that people have paid close to $6 million in permit fees, Thurston County has refused to give any of them permits. And that continuous denial and delay for years and years and years, as interest rates have increased, as the cost of building has increased, that is not helping at all. And this is why I've always called this the dream destroyers. Basically, the opportunity of government to, in one way or the other, decide that they're going to abuse their bureaucratic power, abuse the people who are paying their bills, and destroy any dreams they potentially would have of home ownership or of improving the home they live in or improving the property that they live in for no good reason. In fact, no reason given at all. Just basically a desire to drag the process out as long as they possibly can. And then maybe after they've forced these people to pay just millions and millions of extra dollars in continuing costs and then charging them for staff time and all kinds of other things, the bureaucracy has basically been incentivized to make sure that these permits never get issued. Now, one of the questions, of course, that always comes up is exactly what happens to the paperwork these people have filed. I mean, repeatedly, one thing I've documented over the years is that conveniently the planning department or the people who work there, do they shred the permits? Do they lose the documents? They certainly don't seem to be reading them. And of course, they always misinform the person who's trying to apply for a permit of some kind. They basically find some way to lie to them and say, sure, just apply for a permit and you'll eventually be able to build your home. But what we've seen is that's actually not true. For thousands of people in Thurston County, for many years now, they've been unable to build a home or make repairs to their home or build an outbuilding on their property or whatever it is that they've been trying to do. And they've made the mistake of believing that if they follow the law, follow the rules, that Thurston County will actually provide them that permit someday, and that they even know what the cost of that permit is. And of course, that's not true. Unfortunately, this is basically a situation that we see repeated, not just in Washington State, but all over the country. But in Washington State, where I live, I've noticed this same pattern of behavior repeated itself many, many times in most of the counties in Washington State. At the same exact time, Washington, California, Oregon, other states are dealing with a homelessness crisis, most of which is a drug addiction crisis, but they're at least trying to tell us that if we spend tens of millions of dollars and provide subsidized, super expensive housing for these people who are living out of their cars or on the street or in tents, that will make these problems go away, or at least most of them. At the very same time, they're denying and destroying the dreams of thousands and thousands of people and preventing them from even having the opportunity to build homes when they aren't looking for a subsidy from the state or the county. So this is, again, why I oftentimes call the planning department the dream destroyers, because it's a place where dreams go to die. It is something that we need to address and fix. Property rights are being abused, and property rights aren't just some meaningless abstract concept that's in the Constitution that, of course, Karl Marx said he wanted to destroy. No, property rights really are something that matters to each individual. They are the dreams personified by that person hoping to maybe build that house or that barn. And Thurston County isn't alone in destroying them, but Thurston County is where I live, and it's the place I'd like to start fixing and addressing this issue. So if you are interested in property rights and you have any concern for homelessness or the ability to have homes or the ability to live in a modern functioning society at all, then pay attention to the story. There's going to be a lot more that I'm going to be talking about it. You can't fix something like this if you just stay home and wish it would go away. You have to show up. Because in the end, the only way to solve problems like this is if we're willing to show up, because the future belongs to those who show up.